Good evening, everyone. My name is Abhishek Jain, and I'm pleased to invite you all to the 10th episode of the KYO series, or the Know Your Options Post 12th Grade series by Plante. In this session, we would be covering a 5-year Integrated Program in Management, or the IPM program from IIM. Today, we are very fortunate to have with us Utsav Thapliyal, a graduate of the 2019 batch of IIM Indore, who completed his 5-year Integrated Program in Management, or the IPM. He has previously worked as an assistant manager at Make My Trip and is currently working as an associate at EY Parathinan. In today's session, Utsav will be speaking in detail on pursuing a 5-year program, what it entails, and the various opportunities and career options that it opens up upon completion. I would now like to hand it over to Utsav to begin this session.
Hi Abhishek and team. Thank you so much for having me. It's always great to talk to people who are in school and still evaluating their options. I remember very clearly that when I was in class 12, I stood at a crossroads where the paths that I could take, were starkly opposite to each other. And it was a time when information was kind of hard to get. I was a student who had a PCMB in school. At that point of time, I was taking coaching to get into medical school, and I was giving AIPMP, NEET, etc. So at that point of time, when I came to know about this program, the details were very obscure, and deciding what I wanted to do was very difficult because you have options, but you do not know details about those options. So making a rational choice becomes difficult. So I really appreciate that you guys have started this initiative, and I think it will be very useful for all the students who are listening to this program. I would not just be wanting to talk to you right now about the IPM program at IIM Indore. I would like to talk about management in general after class 12, why you should be going for it, who should be going for it, and what career opportunities do you think that you can get after doing this. So I'll just start with talking a little bit about my program, IPM at IIM Indore. So the IPM program at IIM Indore was started in 2011, and it was the first in this country to have an undergraduate management program combined with the regular 2-year MBA programs. Just to be very clear, the IPM program is not a BBA plus MBA program, nor is it a BCom plus MBA program, as it is perceived to be by many people. It's actually designed to be a comprehensive program extended based on what regular 2-year MBA programs are supposed to be. So the idea is that not just do you have the perspective and the job opportunities that you get from a 2-year program, which people do after some other graduate programs. The idea is to have those skill sets, have that understanding, and to build up that understanding based on a very strong foundation of management and liberal arts. So in terms of degrees offered, the IPM program offers 2 degrees. At the end of the 3rd year, students are offered a BA Foundations of Management degree. And after this, the students merge with the batch that comes in after giving the CAT examination. And then they have a 2-year program, after which they are handed a degree of MBA, a Master in Business Administration. The degrees that you get after BA and MBA, both are recognized degrees. Earlier on, IIMs would be offering diplomas, but now they offer full-on degrees. So I think this is very useful for people to understand that A, this is not a BBA degree, and 2, in the whole duration of 5 years, you actually get 2 degrees. It's a graduation degree as well as a post-graduation degree. Basically, the idea of the IPM program is that management is built on 3 very important pillars. The first pillar being economics, the second being statistics and mathematics, and the third being humanities. The idea is that when you have courses in economics, that builds on to important management principles and management topics such as marketing, finance, etc. Of course, understanding and having a good background in mathematics and statistics is required in today's corporate world in whatever field you go to. You may be working in analytics, you may be working in marketing, you may be working in finance, investment banking, whatever it is. having a strong quantitative background is very important. That is why it is a second pillar of the IPM program. And thirdly, humanities is a very key part of the IPM program. And I think this is one of the most key features of the program, which sets it apart from, many of the other graduation courses and diplomas or degrees that are there in India today. Because not just are you exposed to humanities subjects across the field, but you also understand them in some depth. So it's not just a superficial introduction to many of these things. You have the option to learn many of these fields in depth, and you also have the option to deep dive into the fields that appeal to you more than the others in terms of research papers or further studies and something like that. That is an option that is open to students. So, humanities, literature, and fine arts provide breadth and perspective to someone, irrespective of whatever field you go in. So, even if you go later on, you might be going in finance or you may be going in marketing. Having some understanding of humanities fields such as sociology, philosophy, political science, polity, stuff like these build breadth and perspective for you, not just in your social interactions with the outside world. They also make a difference to you when you're interacting with professionals, when you're interacting as part of your own job itself. So compared to someone who comes from a non-liberal arts background, someone in the corporate world who comes from a liberal arts background will have more breadth and perspective in whatever they are doing. Of course, a key part of pursuing an important program like the IPM is placements. While education and the curriculum are big appeals, a big part of many of these programs are what kind of jobs will you get afterwards. So the idea is that all IIMs offer a lot of support for placements. They have dedicated placement teams who conduct on-campus placements, and IPM students have been fairly successful in all of these placement rounds and have gotten some great jobs. In fact, right now there are IPM alumni who are working in consulting, finance, investment banking, analytics, HR, and many other fields like this. It has been almost 9 years of the program, and in this there has been a very good alumni base that has been built up, and this alumni base has been seen to be performing very well in the jobs that they do, because of which companies are opening to hiring IPM students and looking forward to hiring these students. Largely, the job packages and opportunities that IPM students get is at par with those that MBA candidates get who join campus after the 2-year program after giving the CAT examination. So for the last few years, the placement rate has been 100% with very high average packages, which anyone can go and check on the website, because I do not want to discuss the exact details and figures over here. But job packages and corporate jobs are not just the only opportunities that are available to students after this program. For students who do not want to complete the entire 5 years on campus, there are other options and other formulae which are available. So firstly, students also have the option to just complete the graduation portion of the program and not do the 2-year post-graduation portion. If students go for it, they can leave after the 3rd year and they will be given a BA degree by IIM Indore. They also have the option that they study for 3 years, they earn their BA degree, after which they can take a sabbatical for almost up to 2 years. So during this 2 years, students can take a gap year during which they can do some internships, they may do some jobs, they may travel, or they may try to see other programs. After which they can come back and finish the rest 2 years and earn their MBA degree. So that's also a flexible option that has been made available to students now. There are many students who have used IPM as a launchpad for entrepreneurship. There have been people who have launched startups on IIM Indore campus. There have been students who have launched startups after pursuing their 5-year MBA program. So it's not necessary that you definitely need to stick to a corporate job after doing the 5-year program. You can go into entrepreneurship, or you can pursue other paths. You even have the option to not complete the other 2 years from IIM Indore itself. So that's a flexibility that has been made available. And not just about jobs, there are many students who have completed the 5 year program or completed 3 years, and after which they have gone into applying or preparing for civil services, or they have gone into preparing for some other master's programs in India or abroad. There have been two students who have completed the 5 years, and then they have gone into apply and join PhD programs. So again, UPSC, entrepreneurship, PhD, these are some other options which are available other than a corporate career after this 5 year program. Now, of course, we come to the most difficult part, and which students really struggle with and think about. How do you apply, and what is the admission procedure like? So, firstly, there is an application stage. During the application stage, which generally opens up in March, and this year it may open in March, April. I think that's the time when students can look out to apply. The application form is aimed to understand the student's proficiency in academics as well as co-curricular activities. And these are some of the details that students need to fill up in the application round. There are no application essays to be submitted at this stage or any CVs that need to be made. The idea is that within a simple application form, you just require the bare bone details of your previous academic scores and your previous co-curricular activities. There is some cutoff in terms of board percentages or school scores that is defined by IIM Indore, which students can check from the website. But this does not mean that students who feel that they did not perform that well in their class 10 or class 12 examinations cannot apply. As long as you're clearing the cutoff, your poor scores will not affect you in this round or in any of the rounds going forward. You may have a poor percentage in your opinion in class 10 or class 12, but if you do well in the IPM aptitude test, and after that in the personal interview and VAT round, then there is nothing that can stop you from getting into this program. Of course, the second step is the IPM aptitude test. I will discuss this in detail in the next slide. But the bare bone structure of the IPM aptitude test is it tests two things. It tests verbal ability skills and quantitative ability skills. So students do not need to think about the fact that if they did not have science that they cannot apply, or if they did not have economics or commerce or some other particular subject combinations, that will stop them from applying. Anybody with any subject combinations can apply for the program, even if you do not have a good background in mathematics or English during your class 12 or class 10. You can still apply. You can still give the IPM aptitude test. And as long as you are prepared for this examination, you can definitely get in. Of course, the last stage is the VAT round or the personal interview round. The idea about this is that this is one of the rare programs that for students right after class 12, it conducts a personal interview. There are not many colleges which take personal interviews for students after class 12, which generally I think more common in postgraduate programs. But the idea is that a personal interview allows students to show other sides of their personality. It allows you to show your social skills, your interpersonal skills, as well as it allows you to elaborate on your co-curricular activities that you may have undertaken during your school time. So I think for students who feel that there's a lot more to them that they can express outside of the aptitude test, this is a great program that allows you to actually show things like your public speaking skills or some co-curricular activities that you have done or causes that you're passionate about, which you can easily elaborate on and talk about in your personal interview. As far as the IPM aptitude test is concerned, the test has 3 sections. The first section is quantitative ability. First section is quantitative ability with MCQs. The second is quantitative ability with short answer questions. And the third is verbal ability with MCQ questions. All of these have one mark each with negative marking. The idea is that a big part of giving aptitude tests is time management. And having skill is important, having knowledge is important, but a very big part of aptitude test is time management. So some of the more important tips I give to students about preparing for aptitude test is that practice is important, not just to build up your skill or to build up your knowledge. You may be someone who knows the formulas very well. You may be someone who when given a chance can solve mathematical problems pretty quickly. But the fact is that being able to perform during the aptitude test is very much based on your time management and your ability to work and perform on that particular day during those particular 3 hours. Therefore, most important part of giving aptitude tests is time management, which is as important as having the knowledge or having the skills. So the major advice I give to students is that if you're not able to take time during your class 11 and 12 years to sit down and prepare for the examination, then devote some particular hours regularly throughout the year to be able to practice for the examination. You may be someone who is taking coaching for a lot of other things, but and which might be boosting your skills in that direction. But for breaking through the IPM aptitude test, having practice and having the time management skills is very, very much important. So the idea is that it's not really compulsory that you definitely have to go for coaching to get into the IPM into the IPM program. Nor is it necessary that you need to take a year-long coaching or a crash course coaching. All of that is up to you. Whatever works for you to be able to understand how to manage your time, and whatever works for you to be able to get your practice. A general golden idea for students is that if you are already having a lot of things on your plate right now in terms of other coaching or board examination syllabus, etc., you can always do a crash course after your board examinations or when your schedule lightens up. But I do recommend going for something that enables you to manage your time, that enables you to get practice, which generally wouldn't happen without a structured framework of preparing for the examination. As far as the VAT PI round is concerned, as I spoke about before, this is a chance for you to show and build upon the extra co-curricular activities that you may have undertaken earlier and build upon them. So what is the VAT? Now the VAT again is something very unique to the IPM entrance process. Candidates are asked to explicate their views on a very specific topic. This is designed to see what are your communication and argumentative skills. But this is also a chance for you to talk about things that you're passionate about. So for example, if you're a student who is passionate about the environment, for example, or there are some social causes or public policy causes that you have read a lot about and you can talk about, again, this is a very good chance for you to show skills that you weren't able to show in the entrance test, or you may not be able to show in a JEE or a NEET setup, but you can elaborate on in a VAT examination. As far as the personal interview is concerned, the personal interview comprises of two broad parts. The first part is based on the coursework that you did in class 11 and 12. You may be asked questions based on whatever subjects you had in class 11 and 12 to see how well versed you were in those subjects and what is your academic ability in those subjects during your school years. But there is the second more important part is to judge your confidence and your communication skills, which are a very critical part of this IPM personal interview. Again, an advice that I give to students is that personal interview is not something that students are used to, right after class 12. People have interpersonal skills, people have public speaking skills, but again, for a professional interview, this is not something that students are easily used to. So going for a coaching or going for a short program would definitely be very helpful. Students do not have to devote a lot of time to it during their class 11 and 12 because again, they have a lot of other things to manage. But again, getting practice is important and getting a structured understanding is important. So this is a question that I frequently get asked a lot about coachings and about how much time should be given. Give as much time as you are able to give. And if you're not able to have a structured process of preparation on your own, going for a coaching is generally very helpful. The IPM fee structure is a bit on the higher side, and I would like to talk about it for a moment. For the first 3 years, the IPM fees right now is 4 lakh per annum, and for NRIs it's 6 lakhs per annum. During the PGP program in the last 2 years, the fees are 16 lakhs for 2 years, that is 8 lakhs per annum. and for NRIs it's 24 lakhs for the 2 years. Again, all of these are subject to revision and may include other fees such as hostel fees, mess fees, and stuff like that. But the reason I wanted to talk about the fee structure is that many people find the fee structure intimidating off the bat when they come to know about IPM. They may think that compared to some other liberal arts programs, or compared to some local colleges or some engineering colleges, the fee structure is on a higher side. But what I wanted to say is that even if the IPM fee structure is intimidating, there are a lot of options and facilities which are available for IPM students. So that is what I want to really talk about, is financial assistance. The IPM admissions office offers some quotas for students from the economically weaker section. Aside from this, there is an option for a need-based financial assistance or scholarships that is offered in the IPM program. The idea is that for students who are not able to directly afford all of the fees or a portion of the fees based on their family income or their home situation, there is an evaluation which is conducted for students who have joined the program a few months after they join, and then some flexibility is offered for them. So there are some buckets which are present for this need-based financial assistance, which you can see on the slide, or you can even confirm from the website, as these are subject to change. But the idea is that EWS students or students who feel that the fee structure is too intimidating should still apply. They should still get, give their best shot for the aptitude test and for the interview, knowing that there are a lot of other options which are available for you if you're not able to afford the fees directly at the moment. Aside from the scholarships that the institute offers, there are also a lot of education loans which are available. So there are many public and private banks which offer easy education loans. What I mean to say when I say easy education loan is, these are education loans which do not require to give a collateral or some sort of security in lieu of this education loan. Interest rates are generally low for these loans, and you can easily get these loans. You can help them to finance your education, and after the 5 years you can start repaying these. Start repaying these loans. So the idea is that even if the IPM fees may seem which are available, so students should not shy away from applying to the program. Now, before I get into the Q&A, there are some other larger things that I want to talk about. The IPM program was initially started by IIM Indore. However, right now there are other IIMs which have begun to offer this program, and I think that's a very fascinating development. Not just does it validate the understanding that IIM Indore had much before its counterparts and peers, it also gives more options for students. So in IIM Indore, there are only around 100 or 120 seats which are available per year for the program. Because other IIMs such as IIM Rohtak and I'm sure many other IIMs now have also launched the program, students have much more options to apply to. Right now, applications for all of these IIMs, as far as my understanding is, are separate, and which might be the case for a few years. And I definitely encourage students to apply not just to Indore, but also to these other IIMs and give their best shot. And whatever choice you make later on, make it on the basis of the faculty, the faculty that these institutes have, the placement and track record that they have, the curriculum that they offer. So do look at these things, do deep dive into these things, and you'll be able to make a good call onto which 5-year program in which IIM works best for you. But one larger thing that I want to talk about is what should be your skill set, or what should make you decide whether IPM is the program for you compared to something like, I don't know, engineering or law or whatever other options that you may be considering. So one of the few things that you can introspect about is what are your skill sets, and what skill sets are required in the program, and what skill sets are of value after the program. So I strongly feel that students who think that they have good interpersonal skills, who have good communication skills, who have good public speaking skills, should definitely consider this program. Later on after this program, if you enter the corporate world, if you enter consulting or marketing or finance or HR, a lot of these require you to negotiate with a lot of stakeholders, to speak to a lot of people, to gain understanding of customers, of clients, of suppliers, and of your co-workers, network with them, talk to them, to broaden your career and to build on whatever you're doing in your job. So if you feel you have interpersonal skills and public speaking skills, this is a very good program for you, which will help you to hone these skills and use it, very well in the corporate world later. Again, another thing that you should consider is, analytic and problem solving skills. If you feel that you are someone who, when given a problem, can think about it in a structured way and then go about finding options to solve the problem and then going around, evaluating those options and then implementing the solutions, then again, this is a program that you should consider. Because when you later on go into the corporate world, for example, as a consultant, I may be, faced with a problem statement that is given to me by my client, and then I would like to evaluate the problem that is being given to me, think about what solutions can be there, then evaluate those solutions in an objective, independent way, and then finalize the solution and implement it very well for the client. So again, these are some skill set that as a class 12 student, it may be intimidating or difficult to think about whether you have these skill sets. But if you feel that you are someone who can think in a structured way, then definitely this is a program for you, because you can hone these skills during your management education and then apply them later on. I really feel right now that some of the best jobs that are there today are in the corporate world. While you may be evaluating colleges right now based on proximity, you may be evaluating colleges right now based on curriculum, based on what your seniors did, or based on what your do not try to think about what skill set would you build on when you enter these colleges, what kind of life and career are you looking at after these colleges, and whether you fit into that or not. And I think that's a very good way to think about the options that you have right now, evaluating those options and choosing one that works best for you. So at this point, I would be happy to take any questions that are there right now from the team or from anyone who's watching the webinar.
Thanks a lot, Utsav. I think that was a very, very detailed session, and thanks a lot for sharing your experience with the whole IPMAT exam and also IIM Indore itself. So we do have a couple of questions. So I think my first question is a question that most students in their 12th grade, when they're actually juggling with something that they may want to do in commerce or business, are actually a little worried about. So when you're doing a 5-year integrated program in management, how do the career prospects differ if the student did a normal 3-year undergrad from any other college and then, let's say, a MBA program from any of the IIMs?
Okay, so that's a fairly good question. And again, to answer this, I would like to talk about the curriculum that is there in IPM in the first 3 years. So in terms of career prospects, they may be very similar. For example, if you went to DU and did a 3-year program from there and then did an MBA, compared to versus if you did the 3 years in IPM and the 2 years later on. However, what is very, very different is that IPM exposes you to a variety of things when you're studying in the first 3 years. Another graduation program, for example, may expose you to only one particular area. For example, if you did a undergraduate degree in economics, that may expose you only to economics and give you a deep dive into that. However, IPM gives you a deep dive into a lot of different things and then allows you to study further into whatever appeals to you the most. So I think why that is very important is that later on in your life, what you will use is not just one small thing. You will be using a little bit of a lot of things. And having exposure in IPM to a variety of different subjects gives you an understanding of a wider variety of fields, and then makes you a better candidate compared to someone who specializes only in one thing. I think that's a big transition that is going on right now, not just in the corporate world, but at large in the universe, that people who are generalists are able to prosper more than people who are specialists. The idea is that someone who's a generalist is exposed to a wider variety of things, and therefore when faced with a problem, he can think about it from more points of view compared to someone who has just one point of view. And I think that's a very important perspective to have in today's world, and IPM brings that perspective. For example, when you you have been exposed to something like political science, you have been exposed to subjects like sociology, you have been exposed to something like philosophy, psychology. So for example, later on you're launching a new product in the market. You manufacture something and then you launch a new product in the market. Because you have been trained in an environment where you think from different perspectives, you may be wanting to think, okay, this is a new product that I'm launching. What could be the psychological appeal of this product? What could be the political situation where I'm launching this product? What could be my target demographic, and what are their characteristics, that I'm selling this product to them. So the idea is that because you are a generalist who has exposure to a wider variety of things, you can think from a better perspective and have more options and better things on your mind. So that's something I would really like to point out to everyone. Whatever program you take, try to be a generalist and instead of being a specialist maybe right now.
Thanks a lot, Utsav. I think that definitely answers the question. I think my next question is actually a follow-up on the very slide that you have showed right now. So
Yeah.
as you discussed, there's three main pillars: eco, math, stats, and humanities. For a student who's coming from a science background with, let's say, something like biology and comp science, the only real subject that they would have had exposure to would be maths and stats. So for
Yeah.
such a student, how do you really think that they could actually analyze and see that, okay, this is something I'll be interested in, and this is a program that I will be able to do for the next 5 years of my life?
Okay. So the first thing I would like to talk about for this answer is, and which fits into the previous question as well, is IPM really pushes you to become quick at learning. You are in an environment where 1 month you are exposed to a subject like philosophy, for example. Within the next month, you may be studying a subject which is very, very different. For example, development economics. Now, making these quick transitions and being able to link all of these together is a skill that IPM trains you to build, to have. So again, even if you do not have any exposure to any of these fields before, IPM trains you to become a quick learner. That, for example, I was a student who came from a science background, and none of my science subjects were being taught in IPM. But there were subjects like economics and political science, which I had no idea and no exposure to. But once I started learning these, I was able to quickly, understand the, important points of the subjects. And in many areas, I was able to really thrive in them without having any prior exposure to them. In fact, I remember in my very first term, I got pretty good grades in economics, and I was very surprised because there were a lot of my batchmates who had exposure to eco in their school years, but many other students who did not have any exposure to eco were able to do much better because IPM trains you to pick up things quickly. It forces you in a way to become a quick learner into these fields, even if you have no previous exposure, even if you have no previous idea in them. And the idea is that you quickly begin learning these different things. While that in itself is a very important skill set, later on in your life, you're able to even, draw the lines between things which earlier had been very different. So, for example, you might have been a student who had art subjects in school, you had political science in school and stuff like that. Maybe when you join IPM and you begin studying economics, you're able to make a link. Okay, I studied about, this form of government in school, and now I'm able to understand the financial or economic implications behind what was something very different I had studied in school. So again, to wrap things up and give you a summary, even if you have no prior exposure to any of these fields, IPM forces you to quickly begin learning them and begin drawing the lines between things which are very different.
All right, thanks for that, Utsav. And I think with this, I come to the last question for today's Q&A session, and that is actually with respect to the entrance exam and also the personal interview itself. So could you tell us a little bit about how a student could actually prepare for this? And is it like a requirement that a student should get themselves enrolled in any distance learning program or in any classroom coaching, or is this something that a student could do completely on their own?
Okay. I think that's a very good question, and I think it's also one of the most critical things that any student thinks of. I really feel that when you are in a stage like you're in class 12, or if you're taking a drop or something, you should keep your options open. So you should not just be studying for one program or one line of thought. You can be studying for a lot of things, which is fairly common that students do. And when you are studying for a lot of these different things, doing coaching for everything becomes very difficult, and which is also fair. And so again, it's not necessary that you have to be doing coaching for this program or many of these other programs. The idea is that your preparation should be structured, that you should be giving time regularly, and you should be practicing time management for the test itself. To do this, if you are able to devote 2 hours of your life, 2 hours every day, at least for 4 5 months, you can easily prepare for the IPM aptitude test. All it requires is giving 2 3 hours every day, practicing the questions which have been asked before, picking up a practice book, for 2 3 hours every day, practicing those questions. And if you do this for 4 5 months, you can easily develop the skills and knowledge that is required for the test. The remaining thing is time management. So again, you need to sit down for that 3 hour stretch and practice time management of being able to answer 120 160 questions within the 3 hour block, and being able to do it with a good success rate, in good time and in a good mental shape. If you're able to do this on your own, fair enough, you do not need any coaching. The idea of coaching is when you're not able to do these things on your own, and when you required some assistance or a structured way of preparing. Again, this is mathematical ability and verbal ability. It is not things that can be easily taught to you. It is not something like economics that someone will come and teach you, or it's not something like physics that I have to come and teach you a theorem of some sort. All of this is based on skill. The syllabus for the maths examination generally is maths up till class 10. So even if you've studied maths only till class 10, or if you're not going for coaching, it's not like there is something new for you to learn. The idea is to practice and build that skill. So when it's a skill building examination, what is more required than having a teacher is the requirement of having a structured practice method of preparation. So if you're able to build that structured and disciplined environment for yourself without any coaching, that's really excellent, and you should go for that. But if you're not able to, having a coaching does give you an assistance, does give you a structured path to do that. But again, one thing I would like to categorically state is it's not a requirement. For many people who come to me and say that I'm already in my class 12, I was not able to do a 1 year coaching to prepare for IPM, that's not at all required. Do whatever works for you. If a regular coaching for a year works for you, then do that. If you're not able to do that, you can go for a crash course, you can go for a 2 month 3 month course, you can go for a distance learning course, but do whatever is able to give you that structured practice environment. And if you're able to build that yourself, that's amazing. Nothing better than that.
Yep, I think that's a very, very fair point. And thanks for that. So with that, I think I come to both the end of the Q&A session and also the session. So I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of Team Plant for that wonderful session. So thanks a lot, Utsav, for taking the time out for this.
Thank you for having me. And to all the students who watch this, all the best for your preparation. Believe in yourself and study in a structured way. And there's nothing more that you need more than that. So all the best, everyone.